we are comparing two of the nicest systems that we offer. So they're both 2.5 coilover with resi. These are both gonna be a 9.5 out of 10 system. You're not gonna buy one of these systems and put it on your vehicle and not be happy with it and wish you would have got the other one. There might be a reason that you wanna buy one versus another, whether you do more off-road or on-road driving, but you're gonna be happy with either one of these systems. You know, I've had the Icon on other builds, and I've had the Foxes in other configurations on other builds, and you know, I don't know. I mean, for street driving, I might pick Fox, and for hard off-road, I might pick Icon, but I've done both with both systems.
With driving both the Fox and the Icons, it definitely comes down to more of a lifestyle choice and what you actually use your truck for. Like Bill said, both kits are gonna be good and you're not gonna lose either way, but the Foxes typically feel like more of a street-ready kit, just a little bit softer on the road, whereas the Icons are something where you'd feel more confident if you were gonna go out and try and jump it. Really, it just depends what you're looking for in your truck.
The Fox 2.5s with the DSC adjuster are ride quality adjustable. The Icon 2.5s that we went with are not ride quality adjustable, but Icon does offer this feature for about $400 more.
I have played with the adjustment a little bit. You can really soften them up to the point that it's almost a little washy. And you can tighten them up. They're not gonna get quite as tight as those on the street.
The way the reservoirs mount on them is slightly different, even though they are both a 2.5 coilover with a remote reservoir. The Foxes kind of sits up higher above the top bracket, whereas with the Icons, they move it all the way out to the front of the wheel well. And with these trucks, neither one of them hits the reservoir or rubs, but potentially with something like the Icon, if you're trying to stuff like a 37 in here or whatever, you might have issues with it catching as you turn.
Yeah, that's one thing we've heard before, and I can say with the Icons is I wish they would give you just a couple more inches of hose in there, just so you had some more options on mounting it. You'll see that some of these guys that run big tires, they will have marks on those resis where they have hit before. They're both drop-in stock replacements. As far as install goes, the one thing I will say is any Icon we've ever got, they're set at about 2.25, and that seems to be really consistent from Icon. We drop them in. We've adjusted ones before, but we don't really seem to need to. I mean, that's a great height. 2.25 is great. You don't get bad angles, everything else. The Foxes, it's kind of a crapshoot. I mean, these came at 0 lift or maybe a 1/2 inch, and they had to come back off the vehicle to get them adjusted.
So if you're somebody who doesn't want to spend the time to try and adjust the suspension or is worried about trying to crank that out in your driveway, something like the Icons may be a better choice just because it's going to arrive a little bit more ready to install than the Fox would. Because this has a bigger cab, the same bed, the deck system had the quad in it. It has the winch, grill guard, headache rack, all that stuff adding extra weight, whereas my truck is a smaller truck with a lighter engine that has a tent that doesn't weigh all that much on the back. So that kind of varies the way that the suspension performs. No matter what, if you put more weight on the vehicle, it's gonna force the suspension to be softer. You probably don't necessarily have to worry specifically about going over like a determined weight. The coilovers will handle putting like a grill guard and a winch or a bumper on there. The main thing to consider is if you're doing something, especially like a true full box steel bumper, you're gonna have a lot of weight on the front of the truck. You may have to adjust your coilovers to accommodate that. Because if you get the Foxes and they're adjusted down at like an inch, and you put that bumper on there, the whole front of the truck's gonna settle. So you're gonna have to get in there and crank it back up to level that truck out since there's all the weight on the front of it. But both the Icons and the Foxes can be adjusted to compensate for that. It's just something to think about beforehand if you're planning to change the front of your truck later in the build.